Thank you so much for organizing this session and this workshop and on embedding AI in society. And in our presentation, we want to try something slightly different. We're going to tell you about a research project we're doing on experimenting with using AI to integrate experience-based knowledge and values in vaccination guidelines, and thereby actually use AI to produce new forms of the social. My name is Teun Zuiderent-Jerak, and this is Lösch, and we're presenting this project on behalf of our colleagues. It's a collaboration of the Athena Institute, the Social AI Group of the Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam, and the National Institute for Public Health and the Environment, the Dutch CDC. Right, so when sort of following discussions on AI and society, of course, what does happen fairly often is a kind of a subtle reproduction of somewhat determinist notions about this idea that AI technologies are going to be impacting society and that then either is in positive or negative ways. Now, of course, that linear model of technology and society has been challenged in science technology studies. And I think that's been sort of one of the most important moves in STS to sort of move away from a linear model to a more emergent and more temporal understanding of techno, science, society configurations, which basically means, of course, that science and technology and society configurations at T1 are producing then later new configurations of technology and society at a later point in time. And that then also relocates politics much more in the heart of technoscience. Now, that scholarly insight was an important move for STS, but currently that has, of course, then also resulted in lots of forms of experimenting with novel technology and society configurations. One of the headings under which much of that work is currently organized is under a program that I helped set up within the Society for Social Studies of Science, which is the STS Making and Doing program. And there's also a monograph coming forward on that topic. And that's a collection of experiments with novel ways of interacting science, technology, and society, and doing that in ways that change all three of them. In this talk, we want to focus on experimenting with enacting AI society configurations. What we're thereby doing is we're exploring the potential of AI to draw on these authors to invent the social. Basically, society, if society is continuously done and redone through technoscientific practices, then what might the role of AI be in enacting societal concerns? We're exploring that in the field of evidence-based guideline development. And of course, we're aware that not all of you are that familiar with that field. Evidence-based guideline development, the idea behind it, of course, always was that it was a combination of the best external evidence, which wasn't necessarily coming from randomized trials. It could be all kinds of external evidence, combined with clinical expertise and also patient expertise and values and preferences. Now, unfortunately, over time, the focus on best external evidence has been very dominant, and especially the focus on randomized clinical trials, and clinical expertise and patient expertise and values and preferences have been quite marginal. This has been noted especially directly within the COVID-19 pandemic. We did a rapid survey amongst COVID-19 guidance producers that are part of the Guidelines International Network, the International Society for Guideline Developers. And we asked them if they can continue to use the standard methodology that's very much focused on this external evidence of that RCT type, if they can continue using it in the current situation. And almost 90% of them actually says, no, they can't. 80% say, no, we really can't. And the others also say, no, we actually do something quite different. This is also something that was noted by Tricia Greenhalgh, who's always willing to stir up some controversy. And she actually asked the question, if maybe evidence-based medicine might not survive COVID-19 and be one of the more unlikely casualties of the COVID-19 pandemic.
And we ask in our project if when the exclusion of patient and professionals' values and experience has led to evidence-based medicine being a casualty, if it might be worthwhile exploring including those values and this experience knowledge more again. And we're aiming to do that by combining interactive research methods together with innovative AI methods for text mining and data analytics. In detail, what we're going to do is we're going to analyze existing sets of textual records where those societal concerns and this knowledge is raised. This comprises, on the one hand, databases such as from the National Institute of Public Health and the Environment, but also online forums and social networks such as Facebook and Reddit, where such discussions are taking place. And secondly, we aim to develop our own interactive online platform to bring different stakeholders and parties together in a dialogue to discuss those topics. And then we're mainly going to use AI methods from the field of natural language processing, such as named entity recognition, topic modeling, and sentiment analysis, to analyze those forms and databases in a systematic way and try to translate this knowledge into knowledge that can be used in the guideline development process. Here you see two examples of Facebook comments to a news article post, which was concerned with the COVID vaccine. In the second one, you see, for example, a user raising the concern that with a vaccine you don't get to see the package leaflet, which you normally have when you buy a medicine. So overall, we're trying to adopt an alternative conception of the relation between AI and society, where AI is used for knowledge and value inclusion, where it's bringing to the fore views of citizens and professionals on vaccines that otherwise might not have been voiced or recognized, which of course still is leaving us with the challenge to integrate this knowledge, which will still be something we will figure out hopefully during the project.
Great, and we look forward very much to questions and comments you might have.
Exactly, yes.
Because we're in the early stages. Thank you.